The one I think, Matt Sorchensky, Big Ten official, he's going to be mic'd up tonight. For all you guys listening at home, we get a little Matt ref here. The captains are out there for the toss, and then we're going to get started right off the bat with Dietrich Navarro and Kalen Riley. But as you said, Scott, the Illini are looking to get back on track after that disappointing loss to number 4 Ohio State. Northwestern comes in town, after a stumble in Purdue. They're 2-2 in duels and 0-1 in the Big Ten.
Well, Mike Poeta on Illinois' side made a decision to rest his starters basically for a month. Didn't do any holiday tournaments or what have you. No Midlands for Illinois. And Mike Poeta said that's been a tradition here, but he needed more than just tradition as a reason to justify it. He wanted to keep his guys fresh into the Big Ten dual season, but unfortunately came up with a loss here at home against Ohio State. Northwestern, meanwhile, very active in the holiday season.
Yeah, the many tournaments. Cleveland State Open, they wrestled in the Midlands, and the guy right off the bat, Dietrich Navarro, he wrestled 7 times at the Midlands, going 5-2, and he's been battle tested. So let's see here, Kalen Riley looking for his first dual meet win of the season. Had a great match against number 10 ranked Brandon McCrone. Came on the short end, but kept the match into decision, and that's exactly what Mike needed Kalen to do. Let's see if he can open up offensively against Navarro tonight.
125 pounds, Riley versus Navarro. Illinois has the green, and Northwestern has the red. We're underway here at Huff Hall.
Yeah, Kalen Riley came right out, and I thought there's a double leg attack by Navarro. In deep on Riley. Nice defense there. And we get our first points of the night.
And it'll be 3 for the Wildcats. And Kalen Riley, Mike Poeta said, was thrown into the Wolves. He's wrestling a year earlier than what was scheduled after Ramazan Adesov could not go after the first match of the year for Illinois.
Yeah, he ended up having back surgery, having some weight issues, but I see him back on the bench. I don't think he'll be back, so it'll be Riley's spot the whole time. But right off the bat, Navarro gets aggressive and goes right after Riley. That takedown, nice little underhook to a little throw-by and a double leg, and he takes the early lead, 3-0 on Riley. Riley was very, very good defensively against McCrone, but I know Mike wants to see more offense out of Kalen tonight.
Riley trying to get himself on the board if he can get out of the grasp of Navarro, but Navarro brings him back down.
Yeah, the nice little lift and bust there by Dietrich. And when I talked to Coach Torniola, he was really impressed with this youngster out of Idaho. And he did a great job, and he thought his 7th-place finish at the Midlands had really sparked, and he's seen something. They call it in wrestling jumping levels, and it might have been an early season jump level for Navarro.
So Riley could not escape. And we'll go back to it in the center of the mat here at Huff Hall. It's also home to Illinois volleyball and Illinois gymnastics. At one time, this was home to Illinois basketball many, many years ago.
Yeah, well, the Fighting Illini have outgrown this for sure with their national ranking and what they're doing. And what a great year for Illinois football and for basketball. But here we are in Huff Hall. And you got the Fighting Illini ranked 10th in the country against Northwestern Wildcats.
I think Illini have done some creative ways of bringing fans in. They've had some meets at the State Farm Center, the basketball arena, but they've done it in almost a theater setting where they've sectioned off part of the big bowl and presented the meet on a stage. And then earlier this year hosted Mizzou inside a large tent at the tailgate area near the football stadium, and it was a dinner and wrestling format. So fans enjoyed a dinner and then basically sat tableside and watched Illinois and Mizzou go at it.
And I can tell you this, Scott, I like this much better. It's much warmer.
Even though that tent was heated, it wasn't the same.
Navarro doing a great job here with that third lift and bust on Kalen Riley, and he's looking for that far wrist. We call that a wrist ride. Riley in good position now to get away. Let's see if he can do. Get away, another lift and bust on the edge of the mat is Navarro's friend. We're just over a minute, and it's still 3-0 with Navarro in control.
Navarro has been in control for the entire opening period here. He's coming off that loss to the number 1 ranked Matt Ramos at Ohio State by a technical fall, 20-4. So he probably could feel like he sees an opportunity here against Kalen Riley, the junior from Libertyville.
Yeah, he comes in, like I said, when we talked to Matt Cernola, he's 10-8 on the season, but 4 of his losses are against top 10 opponents. He lost to two top 10 opponents at the Midlands to his 7th place finish. And then, as you said, he gets Matt Ramos, number 1 in the country, against Purdue, who leads the country in bonus point wins right now.
Yeah, I may have said Ramos from Ohio State. Yeah, he's at Purdue. Northwestern was over in West Lafayette for their matchup with Purdue and lost 31-13 on Friday night. And Illinois hosted Ohio State here on Friday night and fell 24-9.
Yeah, Navarro's definitely in control of this match. He's looking for a tilt and rolls right through. He's got that far wrist and called that a wrist ride, and he's trying to pin that underneath him, Scott. He's going to come out to the side. He's going to roll right to us. He's got Riley in trouble, and there's the first back points of the evening.
Give him 3 on that. Matt Sorchinski, our head official.
Navarro's going to score right before the end of the first period. He's going to open up a 6-0 lead, and he rode Kalen Riley for over 2 minutes and 40 seconds in that first period. So definitely in control. Riley's going to need some offense here.
A little bit unusual, Brian, to get 3 back points.
Yeah, so it's either 2, 3, or 4. So you get 2 swipes, 3 swipes, 4 swipes. But Matt Sorchinski got down there and gave the 3 swipes, and Riley came off his back. And we talked about that earlier. Generally 2 and 4. First match gets 3. The announcer's curse.
Navarro will start underneath and try to pick up a point here against Riley. And he does. It's now 7.
Yeah, and Riley needs to get to work here. Can't afford to give up another takedown chasing 7 points here early in the second period. And he had some nice shots against Brendan McCrone. And let's see if Kalen can get on his offense. The one thing that needs to be talked about is that, how much energy did Riley spend on the bottom in that first period when Navarro was working him over? There's a short little single there, and they're in a roll position. It's going to be interesting here. What he needs to do here, Scott, is he needs to get that right arm out from between his legs into his waist and trying to get into a double leg situation here. Riley in good position, locked in the crotch. Comes out on top with that high leg over. He's trying to get his head underneath it here. Great job by Matt Sorchinski letting him wrestle. Give him a lot of credit here. Little scramble position. Probably going to end in a stalemate here pretty quick. Right here in front of us, Scott.
It definitely seems like Riley is having a better attack here in this second period. He's responding.
He's looking to see if he's in danger here. When he puts his arm up vertical, he's looking to see if Riley's back's in danger here. Riley's in a little bit of trouble here, and he's got to come through. He's got to keep his hand. Nice job by Kalen to come through there. But at some point, rather than playing defense, he needs to score.
Yeah.
And there's the stalemate call by Matt Sorchinski.
25 seconds left for the second period. And a match that's been owned by Derek Navarro out of Nampa, Idaho. Riley from the northern suburbs of Chicago and Libertyville, Illinois.
Yeah, and you mentioned Idaho. Idaho's becoming a very, very good state for wrestling. Over the last few years, they really put their name on the map at the Fargo level. And a lot of guys coming out of there. Wyoming's program is benefited from the Idaho guys. But here he is, all the way from Idaho to Evanston, Illinois.
Second period is done. 7-0 lead for Navarro, and riding time will be a factor now because if the margin stays at 7, the extra point will make it a major decision.
Yeah, it's locked up with 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. It's definitely locked up, and interesting choice by Riley. He takes down and he gets out immediately. So it needs to stay right here. There it is on that little attack. So what they're trying to do is Riley's trying to keep this match under 8 points, try to score here. Navarro, a great hip position here, Scott. See how he's pulling, he's looking at, he's broke his grip. He's trying to get behind that far elbow, and he's in really good position. And there it is, he's going to get it here shortly. Nice job by Riley, and there yeah, it's close.
The Northwestern bench can sense it.
He needs to get this single, get him back off to his feet, and there's going to be a takedown.
3 more, and that's going to all but seal this one up.
Yeah, 10-1 for Diedrich Navarro. He really dominating on his feet. He's probably going to cut him here. Maybe look for a break. Now he takes him right back down to the mat. I'm a little surprised. But he was so controlling in that first period, and he's just piling up the riding time on Kalen Riley. Maybe looking for some more back points here on that tilt again.
It's not out of the question. with 50-some seconds left here. And Riley put up a little bit of a fight in that second period, but this has been Navarro's match.
Yeah, it just, Navarro's battle-tested, wrestled all those matches in those tournaments in Midlands, and, he's been wrestling well with that little hiccup he had against Ramos. Nice little roll by Riley, but out of bounds, and they're going to come back to the middle with just 36 seconds left, and Kalen Riley trailing 10-1 against Dietrich Navarro.
And Riley using the energy there that Navarro gives him to avoid something worse. But he's got to try to find some points here in the waning seconds.
Doing a nice job here, Dietrich Navarro. Let's give him credit. I mean, he's been dominating on top, controlling. Still not going to let him go. Another lift and bust attempt and right down to the mat. 20 seconds left, 10-1 with over 3 minutes and 30 seconds of riding time.
Barring a near fall, this will go as a major decision. And Riley's just trying to avoid any prospect of that happening. And Navarro's got it wrapped up.
Yeah, a good start for Northwestern coming off that loss to Purdue and come here in Huff Hall and get that first win, Navarro over Riley. And as you said, Scott, that's a major decision that's going to get them on the board. Wildcats 4, Fighting Illini 0.
It's a 10-point margin all together, 11-1. And Dietrich Navarro improves to 11-8 on the season. And we'll move on here to the 133. You kind of circle when you get to this one. But first up, a look here at what Dietrich Navarro accomplished over Kalen Riley for the victory.
And there's that tilt in those first back points on those 3 swipes that you mentioned, Scott. And, I mean, he was just dominating on his feet. But here we are, Lucas Bird and Masio Dottie. Lucas Bird, ranked number 2 in the country, undefeated, wrestling this sophomore, Masio Dottie out of Northwestern. It's going to be a tough challenge for the youngster wrestling Lucas Bird, who's been on fire lately, Scott.
Masio Dottie out of Wilmette, Illinois, went to Loyola Academy, so he's the in-state product. Lucas Bird from Cincinnati, Ohio, coming off the win over Nick Bouzakis here Friday night at Ohio State to stay unblemished. That was an 8-5 decision over the Buckeye.
Yeah, the former 2-time All-American didn't wrestle. There's a nice little go behind. He's going to get the first takedown of the match.
And Bird's up 3-0.
I would not be surprised here if we see a little, what we call a little cut and release. Back up to your feet, a lot of takedowns by Lucas Bird. But an interesting thing, Lucas Bird ranked 2nd in the country, and Ryan Masio Dottie's out. Gets that point 3-1. We'll get back to that here in a second. But as I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Lucas does a lot of work on his feet here, Scott.
2-time All-American without any events to wrestle in over the holidays. Went to Philadelphia. Has a girlfriend that lives out in that area, and Mike Poeta was very pleased at the initiative he took in the wrestling area out there while visiting his.
And there's that second takedown.
Yeah.
6-1 here, opens it up, and I think you're going to see a lot of this, but he's doing alternate start. When they do the old triangle with their hands, it means they're going to go alternate start, which means they're going to give the bottom wrestler a free release and wrestle back on their feet. But back to the story in Philadelphia, Scott.
Well, he took the initiative, contacted some wrestling greats, and Jordan Burroughs also met up with the Japanese world champion, who's a hot name right now, Masanosuke Ono.
Uno, right?
And when you meet up with those guys and they tell you you can do it, it sometimes rings a little bit differently than your head coach who's supposed to tell you, Lucas, you can do it.
Nice single leg shot there, Lucas. Maybe he's kind of in a stalemate position here. He's going to try to circle around, get that elbow to the mat, kind of try to clip that left knee of Oldati. But to your point, yes, Lucas he's in good position here. He's reaching for that far ankle, far hip, just as I said. And there it is. There's 3 points, and that's his 3rd takedown of the match.
He's piling it up here with a 7-point margin now in the first period.
With just under a minute to go, he's got that deep claw ride. But, you had mentioned him. He's going to let him go one more time and try to get one more takedown. Yes, he has a girlfriend in the Philadelphia area, but was that the real reason he went home? Or was the opportunity to wrestle Jordan Burroughs too great?
Like I said, Mike Poeta liked the initiative he took on the wrestling side of things.
Yeah. Well,
anything else that was accomplished, that was a gravy.
Yeah. So, interesting thing. So, Bird's ranked 2nd in the country. And there's a single leg shot by O'Dottie. Nice little attack by the sophomore. True sophomore, too. No redshirt as he wrestled 125 last year from Matt Storniola and the Northwestern Wildcats. Just under 10 seconds. Lucas just trying to fend it off here with that belly whizzer.
Yeah, Odiati is 6-9 this year, and he did pick up 3 victories in the Big Ten last year, including his debut against Maryland's. As Lucas Bird up by 6 after 1 period.
And he's going to take down, here, and I wouldn't be surprised maybe Lucas tries to get this riding time over 1 minute before he cuts him and then starts to get on his feet. But Ryan Crookman of Lehigh was ranked number 1 in the country, and they just announced that Ryan Crookman is out for the season. So with that win that Lucas had over Bosakis, a nationally ranked win here, it'd be very interesting to see if Lucas Bird doesn't become a top-ranked Illini wrestler, which would be the first time in a while that Illinois have had one.
Bird has not yet had a pin this year, even though he is unblemished. He does it all by the points. He's had 3 major decisions, which is definitely in play in this match.
Yeah, and Lucas loves to wrestle upstairs, and what I mean by that is he's a Greco wrestler, loves to wrestle from the waist up. I know we've seen some lower attacks, but Masio Dottie, very familiar with the Greco too. A nice little throw by O'Dottie, and there's that re-attack by Lucas Bird. Needs to drag him back on the mat here, Scott. He's looking for that far ankle, and if he gets his head out, they're going to give it to him. He's got to get his head to the side, bring it to us, and there it is. Nice call by Matt Sorchensky.
It's up to an 8-point lead, and they'll recenter themselves.
Looking for that optional start again. Get Lucas going on his feet, and he signals.
Navarro won the 125, and Northwestern's up 4-0 after 1 match is complete, but Lucas Bird looks to be evening that, if not more.
Yeah, and this was a tough matchup for the youngster O'Dottie from Northwestern, and the Wildcats knew that, and that's why it was so important to get that first win by Navarro. But give him credit, O'Dottie's in there fighting with the veteran. And there it is. There's that bull. That's senior bullyship right there. A little fake snap and just bowled him right over. Lucas Bird, welcome to Huff Hall, Masio O'Dottie. That's what that was. Another optional start. Lucas Bird looking for his 6th takedown.
On paper, 9 of the 10 wrestlers for Illinois are ranked. Only 3 for the Wildcats. But the unranked Navarro picked up a win. And, I think the Wildcats, what do you think, Brian? We're hoping if they can get a win in 3 or 4 matches today, that would be solid outing for them against a ranked Illini team.
Yeah, and they're a little bit. There was a shot attempt by Bird. They're a little bit undermanned. Chris Cannon, one of their former All-Americans, back in the lineup only for like the 2nd or 3rd time. And then Trevor Chumley, their 157-pound nationally ranked, is still battling a rib injury, which he suffered at the Cliff Keen Invitational. So they're without, Cannon, a little rusty, and without Chumley. A little bit difficult for Matt Storniola and his crew, but they still got some ranked guys, and you're going to see Cannon up next, and then you're going to see Mayfield later, and then Bates in that big Bates and Bronigo match at 97.
So Lucas Bird now a tech fall away from, a near fall away from making this a technical fall.
Yeah, and he's
piling on with a takedown and the riding time.
Yeah.
Nothing,
he gave it to him. He's looking at him again, so it's 18-6. He still needs a couple more. He's looking for him to let him go. He's looking over at the coach, and he's telling him, let him go. Doing some work here, looking for that tech fall. But I'd love to see Lucas go upstairs a little bit and try for that big move. See if he can get a pin. But right now he's on the verge of getting that 15-point decision, Scott.
Minute 30 to go.
He's got some work to do. Essentially 2 scores. Or he can take him down and ride him out for that tech fall, but essentially 2 takedowns in a minute 14. So see how quick this next takedown, if it comes, where it's at. And there's a single leg shot by Lucas. Nice defense by O'Dottie, but not where he wants to be against Bird. Right there, and there it is. Little back trip. Nice job by the veteran Lucas.
On the brink for Lucas Bird with 59 seconds to go.
So essentially he has the tech fall, right? Essentially. However,
with the riding time.
With the riding time. But he's going to, I think he's going to go optional start, and he's going to want to get that one last takedown. And that's exactly what he does. Very confident here. Coach put in his crew a little re-attack, trying to get on that leg, maybe take some time off the clock. But now Lucas Bird has to go to work, Scott. 49 seconds to get that one more takedown.
Yeah, he gave him the point, and now the riding time doesn't factor for an automatic tech fall.
Yeah, I mean, that's a move where you have confidence in your guy. Because he looked over to the bench, and there, nice little shrug, but out of bounds. Looked over to the bench, and both Poeta and Isaiah Martinez said, go neutral start here. Now he has 30 seconds to get that tech fall. There it is, nice little shot, and he's in on it, looking for it. He's really good in this position with a body lock. Doesn't quite have it, but we'll look for that back trip again with his right foot. What we call a heel trip. He goes front.
Oh, Odiati avoids it.
14 seconds. Is he going to get it? He's got him in what we call a crusher position. He's just got to reach for that far leg.
You got that?
Oh, and he goes out of bounds with 5 seconds left. Yeah.
Mike Poeta was contending that he had it.
No reason to throw the brick in this situation. So can't quite get that tech fall. But 21-8, it's going to be 22-8. He's going to have a 14-point victory. That's a major, so we're all knotted up 4-4.
The two in-state schools, public and private, orange and blue, purple and black, even at 4 apiece. And Lucas Bird stays unblemished in the 2024-25
Well, look
season.
at some of these replays on these takedowns, man. Lucas Bird just getting attack, hand fighting, nice little toucher, and there's that bully right there.
Yeah.
You know, little snap down right over. Lucas does a great job. One more takedown. This was that back trip I talked about. Nice job by Lucas to secure it. Very upset as he walked off the mat without that tech fall, Scott.
Always a competitor. Matt Storniolo in his 9th season leading the Northwestern Wildcats. Their best season was a few years ago, the 21-22 campaign, when they finished 6th in the NCAAs. Danny Pacino for the Illini now in the 141, an NCAA qualifier a year ago. And Chris Cannon, as you mentioned, he's maybe the best wrestler on this squad in the lineup today, at least, ranked 10th in the country, but he just hasn't wrestled that much. He's only had 3 matches.
Yeah, he's been banged up, and 2 years ago he wrestled at Northwestern, was an All-American there, was an All-American back there, and then he transferred out to Michigan in an NIL-type move and was hurt, and then came back home and put on purple and white again. So Matt Storniolo was happy to get his veteran back in Chris Cannon, and even though he's only got 3 matches, this is going to be a really good match and a really good test for Danny Pacino.
Illinois won the matchup between these two schools last year, as we talked about in the Open, with the criteria win, some controversy on that whole thing. Northwestern has won 2 of the last 3 matches. Illinois coming off the win over the loss to Ohio State. Northwestern coming off a loss to Purdue. So both of them want to get back in the win column. And Chris Cannon, also one of these veterans, still with the ramifications of COVID, 6th season in a college program.
Yeah, 6th season, and he's back, and he's looking to get back on that podium. And then Danny Pacino, he's 8-2 on the season, and Danny is always so close in these ranked matches, but he just hasn't been able to push it. BJ Futrell, there he is, the Illinois legend. He did it all in an Illinois singlet, and there he is talking to a former teammate, and it's great to get BJ Futrell back here. 2-time All-American, 2nd in pins, 3rd in single-season pins. What a great job that BJ Futrell coming back home, or back to the Futrell.
His former head coach, the predecessor from Mike Poeta, Jim Heffernan, here in the audience as well. Hef still living in the Champaign-Urbana area. All right, Pacino and Cannon.
You know, Scott, you're really going to like this match because these are 2 guys that like to get after it and like to bang. You're going to see a lot of clubbing and head fighting. And like I said, Chris Cannon can do it all when he's on. Maybe he's a little rusty. And Danny Pacino looking for that breakthrough win against a top-ranked opponent.
Pacino, the second guy in the lineup from Libertyville, Illinois, the northern suburb. And Cannon, familiar now because he's been with Northwestern so long, albeit went into exile, maybe if you're a Wildcat, to Michigan for a moment, as you pointed out. But he's from Oceanport, New Jersey, and a graduate level.
Yeah, when Chris Cannon, back when you mentioned Matt Storniola's best season, Cannon was a big focal point of that, right? So here he is back in what he considers home. And Matt thought it was just such a great thing for his program to get him back into that singlet and back from Michigan and say, hey, we really do things right here. He wanted to come back, and here he is in Huff Hall against Danny Pacino.
Fans like watching Pacino wrestle, and you can see it. There's a little more bounce in the way he moves, a little more flair and flash. That's not to say there's no technique in there, Brian. It's just stylistically, he's got some entertaining pace to him.
Yeah, he's fast twitch. He's quick, and he likes these rolls, and he likes to scramble. And, one thing that I talked about with Mike and why I mentioned those breakthrough wins, he's got a couple wins or a couple matches that he came right down to the end. One that stands out is one we called against Missouri against Josh Edmonds, who's ranked in the top 10, and Danny had him on the ropes and gave up a takedown in overtime. And now he hears with Chris Cannon. They're feeling each other out here. Cannon in there banging, and just getting back, as you can see, all the cuppings on his left shoulder, right?
Yeah.
Whoa!
And the first points go to Pacino.
A nice shot and a double leg blast, and hit him right in the face.
Right.
We're going to see here if he's okay. That was a great shot. If we can get that on replay, that would be fantastic. Because what he did was a little snap down, and Danny Pacino attacked him, and Cannon put his head down and hit him right square in the nose. Nice, the trainer out there. Here it is. Watch the snap down. Watch Danny lead with his head a little bit. Watch him attack right there. Knocks Cannon back, gets the first takedown. Cannon a little dazed, but great takedown there, great technique. And
it's the most response out of this crowd here in the 2+ matches we've had, because that's flashy.
Well, you were mentioning it. Danny likes those big, exciting, quick moves, and there was one of it. And they're actually doing the concussion test on Chris Cannon right now. So, essentially, here it is again, different angle. Great angle. Nice job. Little double leg attack right there. And if this would have happened in the Lucas Bird match, I would have said Jordan Burroughs taught him that, because that's a Jordan Burroughs double leg blast takedown. Cannon looks like he's okay, and he's a tough competitor. Very, very tough kid in Chris Cannon. But when you have a concussion-type protocol, it's not your standard injury time. Where injury time, you get 2 minutes. Blood time, you get 5 minutes. But concussion, they'll let you have as much time as you need to. And that looks like what the ref's doing right now.
Yeah, they were having Cannon follow the finger of the trainer and whatnot. But was there a blood address there? Because he does have the gauze in a nostril.
Yeah, nice job by Chris Cannon. Like I said, he's a very, very tough competitor. And all I'm going to say is that might lead to some additional fireworks if they get back up here on their feet, because Chris Cannon is not going to back down from Danny Pacino after that double leg attack, or what we like to call, Scott, a double leg blast.
All right, Cannon will start down.
Little caution there on the top man. I think that's what I think. He originally signaled green, but Cannon jumped the whistle, and you get 2 cautions before you get penalized a point. So he still has 1 left. Nick Rasso looking to get that clock started.
Green. 1 red, neutral.
And
escape for Cannon.
Now the battle begins back on their feet. And like I said, clubbing earlier, watch these guys get aggressive on their feet with their hand fighting. Both wrestling with their knees and hands on the mat. And, Cannon is not going to back off from that attack. Nice first period, nice aggressiveness.
Cannon faked like he was going to shoot. He seems to want to be down right now.
And one thing, too, here on the edge of the mat is one thing that these guys are taught, too, is if your opponent's to the edge of the mat, take an attack, take a risk, get him off the mat, try to get that stalling call. And Danny's controlling the edge of the mat here. It's nice to see this lead for Danny in the first period. He's doing a nice job, nice little scramble. There's that attack again. Can he finish? 5 seconds. I don't know if there's enough time. He needs to clip it. They didn't give it to him yet. Cannon's locked in the crotch. That's a great call. That's a great call by Matt Sarchinsky, letting him wrestle. Very close, but he didn't get it. You see,
Mike Poeta was hoping on the Illinois side, but he seemed to indicate, too, yeah, it's a good call.
Did you see Danny trying to get the 3 and see if Mike would throw the brick? He signaled 3, and Coach like, nope. Didn't happen.
All right, second period. This is a good one so far.
1. 2.
When he's counting like that, what he's telling Danny is he can't stay back on his ankles. He needs that forward pressure. Nice little release and re-attack by Chris Cannon. Seems to come right off the bat when Danny releases him to try to go back to re-attack. Now this is interesting. 3-2 match here, and a takedown by Danny Pacino or a takedown by Cannon. Oh, he's hurt. Cannon's hurt. His shoulder's hurt. Looks like it might have popped out.
Got injury time, green.
Immediately issued. Went right to his shoulder, and he's taking his headgear off. Chris is done.
It'll be 6 for Illinois if he cannot finish this match.
I don't want to, but it looked like right away. It popped out, and that's could tell. Yep, and that's unfortunate because Chris is a competitor.
Yeah, Cannon's ditched the headgear and is walking off.
Yep.
Pacino will win.
That's a medical forfeit, and that would be 6 points, and that's unfortunate. You know, but we've seen it right there. I mean, he went down immediately, and that's very unfortunate for Chris Cannon and the Northwestern group. And you can see B.J. Futrell right behind it, right here as he pushes it, and then you could see him reach and Danny attack. Great work by the camera right here, right there as he hit it.
Yeah.
And Cannon went right down, and that's very unfortunate. But here, this 49-pound matchup's coming up. Webster, Cartella. I know Webster's ranked. Cartella might not be, but Cartella and Webster came out of high school, very heavily recruited and highly ranked out of high school. And this is one that Matt Storniola really wanted to see his youngster get.
Yeah, from one Cannon to another. Cannon Webster for Illinois, spelled with a K, and it's his first name, obviously. And Cartella.
Yeah, Sam Cartella had a great run, too, for a youngster at the Midlands. You know, he won 6 matches and only lost to 2 ranked opponents, Jaden Abbas, one of the top ranked in the country. And this is going to be a good one. And Cannon Webster suffered a defeat at Dylan Emilio on Friday night, and he's looking to get back on track as the 10th ranked wrestler in the country.
There we go. Webster in the dark blue and Cartella in the black. Orange trim for Illinois, purple for the Wildcats.
Yeah, with that medical forfeit, Illinois jumps out to a 10-4 lead and controlled a couple wins here. Cannon Webster controlled the pace and had a rough go against Dylan Emilio. Not typical Cannon Webster-like guy that pushes the pace, really hand fights. And so I'm interested to see how he responds to that. And then I know Cartella and Matt Storniola had a plan and wanted this match a year ago, but they're getting it now in Huff Hall, Scott.
Last year, Cartella faced off against William Basinger and won by a major decision, 12-3, to help out the Wildcat cause up there at Welsh Ryan.
And they believe, like Cartella's with what he did at the Midlands, that he has All-American aspirations as a redshirt freshman. Webster, one of the best defensive wrestlers I've seen at his weight in the country. But against Emilio, it kind of limited his attacks. So I'm interested to see if the game plan has changed. But so far, with 1:15 gone, they're both still feeling each other out, Scott.
Webster from Toulon, Illinois, Washington. And he may get his first points here.
Green.
Nice snap down to a takedown. Little hesitation there by Cartella, and Webster took advantage of it to get on the board 3-0.
1 red, neutral.
Where Webster likes to, he stumbles back there, gets caught on his heels.
There, what defense right there?
Where Webster really likes to cut his teeth and make a living is on his feet. As you can see, Scott, I mean, he's very lengthy for a 49-pounder.
Yeah.
Long arms, big hands. I mean, and he's just so hard to score on. But he's not much of a top wrestler, loves to wrestle on his feet, loves to tire the guys out. And we'll see if that gas tank can push through on Cartella as we go here for 7 minutes.
2-point lead for Webster, and Illinois is up 10-4 as a squad. And he roll him back.
Yeah, nice little cross ankle pick there by Cannon Webster to get in control. Cartella, as you see, when anyone attacks, they're always reaching for that far ankle. And he's trying to pull it over his chest as a defense move. He's doing a nice job here. He actually is going to put himself in really good position to come out on top. Now Cannon's reaching for that far ankle. Now Cartella comes out with the single leg and gets Webster off the mat. His length here is going to be tough for Cartella to score on, Scott.
It's a long lever, though. Yeah, he's trying to swipe the leg underneath. He couldn't reach it.
Oh, and he's walking him off the mat, and I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, he just gave a shrug towards his head coach.
He's in deep on that single. You have him off the mat. 1 second to go. We're going to end the first period 3-1.
Red defers. Green takes neutral.
Right. Cartella's going to defer here, and Webster will get his choice. They're going to go neutral.
He's going to go neutral, which is interesting. He's very, very good on his feet, but he against Emilio against Ohio State, Emilio rode him out for over 2 minutes. And I think that might be the interesting choice here. Hey, I want to wrestle my feet. This is where I'm comfortable. This is my bread and butter. No reason to go down.
Second straight match that has started tight. The last one between Cannon and Pacino ended in Pacino's favor. Oh, no.
Nice job by Cartella. That was a snap down and what we call a snap down go behind. Snaps down and tries to get his arm behind that far elbow, and he just couldn't finish it.
Almost looked like a dance move.
And there he is, reaching those long arms. Same way he scored the first takedown. He needs to reach for that far ankle. There it is. He's trying to get it, but he's got to get his head popped out. Cartella doing a good job. Nice job by Matt Sorchinski here, mic'd up.
Nothing.
And they're out, and there'd be no score. With just under a minute to go, it's still 3-1.
Yeah, Cartella is holding his own right now.
He's looking a little tired, though, and that's what Cannon wants. And Cannon loves to open up the gas tank in the third period. He's really tiring Cartella out with the hand fighting and snap downs.
Both teams wrestled on Friday night. And both of these guys are coming off, well, as you mentioned, Webster with a draining match when just 2 points were scored, and he lost in a shutout. And Cartella had a little bit easier time against Isaac Rubel of Purdue.
Yeah, that Emilio match was a tough one, but he's a bounce-back competitor. He's one of the best in the country. And right now he's looking for that snap down, trying to go behind. 10 seconds to go. Not sure he's going to have enough to score. A nice stalemate call by Matt Sorchinski.
Might not be enough time for any more points to show up here. Let's see if there's a quick move.
And it's going to be Cartella's choice in the third period, Scott, and I'm confident he's going to take down. Yeah, he's saying top. Cartella comfortable chasing 2 points, and he's going to put Webster down. They must have seen something at Emilio match to give him this kind of confidence.
Well, Purdue bench just reminded him he's tired. That may have been the influence.
Yeah, I mean, to me, taking top here doesn't really give Cartella an opportunity, a wholesome opportunity to win the match, but he's trying to get that leg in, and Webster doing a nice job pulling it over, but it's going to be interesting here. He's deep on that and he's looking for back points, and and he's
4 of them.
And that's why they took top.
And another 3.
And that's why I'm sitting over here saying, I'm questioning the call, and Matt Storniola and Justin Oliver over there, they knew what they wanted for their man. What a turn of events here, Scott.
Cartella
Red cover.
has had a huge near fall. Now the Illini, I think there's a false start, and Poeta throws the brick.
Hey, do you have anything over there?
Throws the brick on a quick false start here, which is interesting.
We're going to get our first review.
And you get one challenge. If you win it, you get the brick back. If you lose it, that's it. Now, what a turn of events here. Cannon Webster was in control of this match. there's a reason why I'm sitting in this chair and not the coaching chair, Scott, right? I was shocked. Here it is. Let's see if they get it real quick. He's got that leg way out there. And I think that's what Mike Poet is talking about. See that right leg?
Yeah.
It can't be that far out. It has to be somewhat behind him or in between the squares there, or what you want to call the pocket, right? See the starting side? But his leg's way out to the right-hand side.
Pocket is that small rectangle in the middle of the block high.
They're looking at it. And
Poeta's asking him to look at it from a different angle. Call confirmed. Not upheld, it's confirmed. So this stays in favor of Cartella.
And they're doing the same thing. And Webster needs to get out right away. Cartella, great job on top, holding him down. He gets him back down. Nice little roll by Cannon. Nice job by Cartella, and warning red, stalling, and we're just under a minute in this 5-3 match. I'm not quite sure.
You got a caution on red. Hey.
Caution red.
Hey.
Right after the stall.
On the elbow. Stay on the elbow.
That was on the elbow.
Cover.
Cannon needs to get out here. He's in. Cartella just loves to be in what we call this crab ride. He's a little high right now, but man, is he comfortable there. Webster looking for that short sit, struggling to get away. And this is what Dylan Emilio did, and they must have watched that match against Emilio, but Cartella loves to be a leg rider, crab rider, under both arms. Scott, walk us through these 30 seconds here.
This would be huge for Northwestern because they just gave up 6 by medical. And it's a piggyback ride right now for Webster.
He's got them both legs in, and the clock is not in favor of Cannon Webster. This is a huge upset.
Warning red.
Okay, so that's
Another
going to be
warning.
a point.
That's a point, yep.
Okay, but now Cartella has riding time locked up. Riding time is locked up for Cartella.
13 seconds for Cannon Webster to do something. And now Storniolo is contending what?
He's not happy with that stall call. He's not happy with the second stall call on his wrestler. And now there's 13 seconds left. And this is the match that they looked for and wanted. And now
another false start that Poeta's looking for. He cannot
this
throw
will
a
be
brick.
a huge upset and a second loss in a row for Cannon Webster.
3 seconds, 1 second. Northwestern pulls it off. Sam Cartella will log his 10th win of the season. And hang on,
Huge
there's still
upset.
a conversation. Now they're, all right.
Cannon Webster came into ranked 11th and lost to Dylan Emilio and now Sam Cartella. And what a great job coaching by Storniolo and then Justin Oliver and BJ Fertrell trailing in that match and taking top. That is an interesting decision. You don't see that too often.
I'll look here again.
Well, we're getting them coaching fireworks as we thought we would.
Yeah.
Now, this time from Poeta. And
As we said at the outset, when these
Mike
not
is
just
not
wrestling.
happy. And he is going to – so he's close to getting dinged for a misconduct or a bench misconduct. So
which costs what?
it would cost the team a team point. And the interesting thing is the last 2 matches that these two have wrestled have come down to criteria. And the first criteria is team point, is misconduct. But as we said, Scott, throw the rankings out the window, as you had mentioned, and this I-57 crosstown rivalry, the first 4 matches, we've had some surprises.
Yeah, Webster is the number 11th ranked. And by the way, Flow Wrestling put out a feature on who they think are the top freshmen so far. Well, Cannon Webster was on that. All right, we'll come back with the 5th match in a moment on Big Ten Plus. Northwestern is making this a meet. Just a 3-point difference through 4 matches. Illinois leads 10-7. Our 5th matchup has Jason Kreiser for Illinois, the graduate transfer from Iowa State.
Yeah, and it's not going to be Trevor Chumley, though. It's going to be Bosselman.
Jacob Bosselman, the sophomore.
Yeah, and that's a big blow to the Northwestern lineup. Weren't sure if Chumley was going to wrestle or not, but it's Bosselman, and Chumley's still battling that rib injury. And Kreiser coming off a huge victory against number 9 ranked Patty Gallagher here on Friday night.
He's capable of some big moves. And he is 7-3 on the season. Kreiser is out of Ellicott City, Maryland. Bosselman, the sophomore, subbing in out of Parker, Colorado, and he's 3-5.
Yeah, and he's from Ponderosa, and Ponderosa High School has really gotten on the map, similar to what we talked about in Idaho earlier. Jason loves to be in this position. I know it's unorthodox, but loves to be in this position. The guy's got a single leg. You look for that throw. It is so difficult if you're coaching Jason Kreiser. And Mike, when we talk to Mike, he's got a nickname, Cardiac Kreiser. He always gives the fans and his parents watching at home, gives them heart palpitations with some of the things he does. But right now he's in control and he gets that first take. Oh, they don't give it to him. That looks like a takedown to me.
So does that one.
They're letting it go.
Northwestern happy with how Bosselman fended that off. They brought Kreiser in to fill a hole at 157 out of Iowa State.
Stalemate.
Yeah, and he comes via Maryland. He was a 4-time Maryland high school state champion, went to Campbell, then he went to Iowa State, and now he finds himself a home here at Huff Hall, and he's been a great addition to the lineup for veteran leadership for Mike Poeta.
Poeta said about getting Kreiser or any transfer now, let alone a recruit, he said, just get them on campus. Once they meet my staff, once they meet the kids, the wrestlers, I'm very confident they'll commit because he believes enough in his own culture and what that does for other guys. So coming from Iowa State, and we all know what the culture is like in the state of Iowa when it comes to wrestling, it's a big move for him.
Yeah, no, I mean, getting Jason here, I mean, like you said, his veteran leadership, and he is so funky, just funky. And Bosselman and the staff here at Northwestern, nice little single shot. I told you, this is where Jason likes to be, but no one else. So let's see what Jason does here. But nice attack here by Bosselman. See if he can finish. Just under a minute, Scott.
Holding on to the right wrist of Kreiser. Kreiser trying to do the same.
Not going anywhere,
Good
guys.
Good call by the official. Back on their feet, and we're scoreless. And in this matchup with Kreiser ranked 27th, and he's going to jump in the rankings with that win against Gallagher. And can he build on it here against Bosselman?
Kreiser has some quickness to him.
10-7 dual meet. And, as we said, there's a nice shot, single leg shot, and Kreiser's in trouble. He's in trouble right there.
Three for Bosselman.
And he's looking for back points, and he's going to get them. When he's in between both of his legs, and he's in trouble.
Nothing. You got anything?
Jason.
I don't know. Did they award the points?
Yeah, he's going to give him back points. We'll see. I sure seen some swipes. Hasn't given them to him yet.
It is not on any scoreboard.
No, and he's not singling anything. 3-0 here. Really.
So tell me about 2 swipes, Brian, and no points.
Yeah, it sure looked like swipes to me. And the official, he's going to review it. That's his own review. The brick did not come out. But in that situation, if you look at if we can get the review on that, Jason was on his backside. And he tried that throw that he tried earlier, but he just didn't have enough leverage, and he put himself in danger. I think they're going to add 2 to 3 back points here. But like I said, there's a reason I'm sitting in this chair and not the coaching one.
We're going to get a look at it here in the 157 matchup. Are there back points to be awarded is what they're looking at.
And it would be right here. And see, I think right there is at least 2 swipes. Maybe it could have been 1 swipe and then no swipes and then 1 swipe. So
it has to be consecutive.
Yeah, it has to be back-to-back. So maybe it was 1 swipe and then he stopped and he started again, and that's why we thought 2. But it's going to be interesting here. If it can stay a 3-0 match, definitely in striking distance, but you go down 6-0, that's a big blow for the Illini.
Bosselman for Northwestern is in place, as you mentioned, the number 11th ranked Trevor Chumley. And the Chumley household has a little bit of split loyalties here today. We'll get into that, but another look. Again, the question from the referees is, is there a back point?
Okay, there's the takedown. So he's locked up behind him. Let's see. So there's one. Rolls back. There's one. It might be two consecutive ones. I'm sorry. One, stop, and then one. So we'll see. They didn't award the back points, so we'll see. So we'll see how it all plays out.
Matt Sorchinsky and Nicholas Grosso still taking their time on this one.
It's amazing. This year the Big Ten puts mics on the refs, and we get more and more challenges. They're looking at this close right now.
You're talking to a guy that I always say these microphones are addictive. Yeah. So can the cameras be.
But really, this is Bosselman. Came out, and after that big win by Jason Kreiser, they're going to look at it. Like I said, it's going to be very interesting here what they come up with. Be excited, and Matt Sorchinsky's he's coming to the table. So, yeah.
Technical violation. Locked hands.
He's saying locked hands. Locked hands. Yep. So what he's saying is, because I told you he locked his hands behind his back, you cannot be locked hands unless you have back points, and there it is. So that's a good call and a really big call for Illini here to get that point and no back points, because essentially that's a 4-point swing for the Illini.
So now it's 3-1. It should be 3-2.
Yeah, it'll be 3-1.
Yeah, because the takedown made it 3, and then the locked hands.
So it'll be 3-1. It'll be Jason's choice. And I think you're foreseeing Jason get that escape to make it 3-2. We'll see.
Why not?
And very impressed so far with the Wildcats' ability to wrestle on top. Go back to that 125-pound match with Navarro. He controlled on top, and then last match with Cartella, now Bosselman doing the same with Kreiser.
Kreiser had to somersault his way out of that. And there's time. A tight one here through 2 periods.
Kreiser's going to go down again, and Bosselman did a nice job fending him off. But the Northwestern Wildcats doing their thing on top here. Kreiser right up to his feet. He's going to let him go. And there it is. There's your 3-2 match.
It's going to come down to the wire, and we'll keep an eye on the time as well.
Nice shot by Bosselman here. And Jason loves to be in this scramble position. But he got burned by it a little bit in the first period. Ooh, watch his knee here. Tough situation. Great call by the official to stop that.
Yeah, that could have gotten dangerous. His neck was maybe in danger too.
Now, Bosselman has been the aggressor on his feet, getting in on those singles. Jason's been trying to scramble. At some point, Kreiser's going to have to open up a little bit. He tried a lefty fireman's earlier. See, there he is on a single. Let's see if he can finish. It's his turn to try to finish now.
This for the lead if he can flip him.
Not in a good leverage position here, Scott.
He had it for just a moment.
They're back into that double ankles stalemate position. Let's see if he lets him wrestle here a little bit. It'd be interesting. Yeah, looking at, they're going to go.
Easy.
Neither opponent so far, with the exception of when Jason sat down, has been able to finish that shot takedown.
60 seconds to decide a match that is a 1-point match. Likely riding time will not factor.
Still have a whole period, though, after this one, so it'll be interesting to see what Bosselman does.
Yes, our score bug is a period ahead.
Yep. There's a shot by Kreiser. He's locked in the crotch, and Bosselman has him in a very... It's a tough position here he's coming up. Walk through this a little bit. He's got to pull that ankle over his head, and he's in danger. Bosselman doing a great job fending off Kreiser with 20 seconds to go here, Scott.
They're intertwined like a grapevine.
And there's the stalemate. Match not going the way that Mike Poeta and Jason Kreiser had planned here against Bosselman, who's filling in, as you said, for Chumley. And you had mentioned earlier, a little crossroads for Chumley.
Yeah, there's Chumleys on both sides, and neither one will be wrestling in this meet.
Yeah, Tegan for Illinois and Trevor for Northwestern. Yeah, and I seen Jeff, the parents in the crowd, and kind of split down the middle. One wearing Illinois, one wearing Northwestern.
Well, at least one member of the family, presumably mom's got the split shirt.
Yeah.
I said, "Who are you rooting for?" And she said, "Both." The answer is yes.
Yes. Well, here it is, 3-2.
All right, now we're in the third period. Yep.
And Jason's got that nice underhook. And he's going to have to push the pace here against Bosselton because neither one have been able to finish their attacks. There it is, a nice double leg. And as
Illinois
I say
take the lead.
And Kreiser, Scott, is really, really good on top. Similar to what we've seen with Cartel and Webster, that's what Jason likes to do on top. He's got that leg in. He's looking for that far arm.
I got it.
Loves to do a Turk, loves to do that power half and really put a lot of pressure on that shoulder. He needs to keep working and avoid a stalemate and keep Bosselton down here. He's got that deep chicken wing. He's going to have to do some work here because Matt Sorchinski's, he's got it deep here. Now what he's going to do, he's going to look for that far wrist. See him reaching over for the wrist? Did a great job against Patty Gallagher the other night. That's the start that Bosselton needs. He needs that new start.
And Chrysler showing off the big move that has swung the match for the moment in his favor. That Mike Poeta said is essentially what he's came for. He is not afraid to go for it. He waited for that moment and found it.
Yeah, and like I said, and
Hey, your head's gotta be in
the caution on Illinois here is not going to make Mike Poeta happy after he was trying to get into that last match about 6 times.
Cover.
Really interested to see
here,
how these last 42 seconds go. Jason really good on top. There's a nice roll by Bosselton. Looking to control this match here on top.
30 seconds to go in this one.
And this is where he really wore out Gallagher on Friday night against Ohio State. And Jason just, once he gets on top, he's really tough to get off, and he likes to get some back points here. And Bosselton, the clock is not in his favor as it ticks to 15, Scott.
Chrysler trying to clamp down on this with 10 to go. Bosselman's got to find something in a hurry.
Nice comeback by the veteran, Jason Kreiser, who started off slow and gets Illinois back on the winning track.
3 for the Illini.
And we're going to reach the break. It's going to be 13-7 Illini through 5 matches.
A good one here. Maybe not the way everybody thought it would go, but the way you can expect it to go sometimes when Illinois and Northwestern get together.
That takedown by Kreiser, as I said, no one's been able to finish. Here's the first one. And to get that 1 point for locked hands and no back points was huge. Yep, and then there's that takedown right there. And we end the first 5 matches. The Illini 13, the Wildcats 7. Okay, hey, in 2 minutes, we're going to come back.
And we're halfway through here at Huff Hall in Champaign, Illinois and Northwestern. Illinois leads at 13-7. It started with the 125, and Diedrich Navarro got Northwestern on the board with 4 points and a major decision. And Lucas Bird was Lucas Bird and bullied his way into a win over Massi Odiotti at the 141. It was a good one, and then unfortunately a medical decision and had Chris Cannon have to leave for 6 points for Illinois, but then Northwestern has responded with a couple of wins. Illinois has responded with a couple of wins with Cannon Webster taking care of things, and then at the 157, Jason Kreiser finishing things off. It came down to the wire, but Kreiser took care of Jacob Bosselman in for Trevor Chumley, and we're ready for the back half of this one at Huff Hall. And it should be a good one against a talented freshman on the Illinois side in Braden Scholes and the redshirt senior, two-time NCAA qualifier in Max Mayfield. And Mayfield, ranked number 19, was a little bit of a Willy Woney, but he's in for the Wildcats. Scholes, number 10, Mayfield, number 19.
Yeah, and it should be a good one. I mean, contrasting styles. Mayfield, kind of the bruiser. Scholes, a little funky here. Braden Scholes has given up the first takedown in most of his matches and came out on top, but that wasn't the case against Ethan Burden of Ohio State, who had 3 takedowns. And can Scholes bounce back? And this is going to be one of the marquee matchups here in the second half. This one and then the 197 match with Zach Bronigal and Bates. And I'm really interested to see if Braden Scholes, the youngster, can bounce back against the graduate student here and the veteran Max Mayfield.
Now, this is where Northwestern thinks they might pick up some points, and they need it now, down 13-7. A fall would go a long way for the Wildcat cause.
Yeah, and
Mayfield hasn't had yet.
Mayfield's coming off the big second-place finish where he finished second at the Midlands tournament. Had a great tournament, lost to Tyler Lillard just by 7-3. And when we talked to Storniolo, he thought, and he said, Mayfield and Bates, they're wrestling the best they ever have in a Northwestern singlet.
Yeah, I have an extra X for Max Mayfield. He's extra large in the 165. A technical fall victory over the 33rd ranked Boilermaker Stony Buell in West Lafayette on Friday night. So he has not lost in a duel this year.
No, and Scholes is really funky, as we said, similar to Kreiser on his feet, but he's really, really good on top as well. So interesting. Last year in the duel, Mayfield wrestled Chris Moore. He's in on a single leg, looking for that first takedown. Scholes with a nice little ankle whizzer gets him up to his feet. Looking to score here.
Mayfield.
Nice whizzer
Hey.
by, pulls it over. Kind of interesting here. Let's see where they end up. Whoa.
Stop. No.
Against the joint. That's why he stopped it. As I was mentioned, last year in the duel, Mayfield had that knee wrapped up, and knee injury, and ended up coming up on top on Chris Moore, but it was a close match. And now he looks healthy, and his record states it.
This is one Illinois also said that is a key match. Mike Poeta recognizing Illinois needs this one. To me, it feels, Brian, like this is a swing match. If Illinois wins this one, now you feel like you're building your way towards the victory overall. Northwestern wins it, says we're evening this up, and it's going to be a dogfight to the end.
Yeah, and that's exactly right, Scott. I mean, they're looking at this match as like, okay, well, without Chumley, Illinois snuck one out at 57. Can we get back at 65 and then try to get 74? Now, but they're without their 84-pounder too. We're going to have a young freshman against Edmund Ruth come out there. So this is a match they definitely need if they're going to stay in this duel, Scott.
Yeah, a must win. And so far, a 0-0 stalemate.
Yeah, Braden Scholes, nice little shot attempt there. Nice defense.
Some moves coming in. A swipe.
Scholes loves to club the head. These two physical wrestlers.
Mike Poeta said of Scholes, he's cold-blooded.
Oh, he is. When he gets on top of you and he starts pushing the pace, Braden Scholes could be nasty. Nasty wrestler, very physical. 4-time state champ in Wisconsin. Highly recruited. One of the Ben Askren kids, a very, very popular name in the wrestling industry. And that first warning stalling call, we'll see if it comes into play, Scott.
I believe it was on Northwestern,
Yep.
and Northwestern will get the choice here. Max Mayfield will take down.
Takes down and looks to get on the scoreboard first and get that first point. Like I said, Braden Scholes very tough on top. We've seen some tough top wrestling so far. Nice forward pressure there by Braden Scholes to stay in the action.
Go, we're out.
And a fresh start by Mayfield. I love that ref mic. As he listens to Matt Swarczynski. New start, we're out. That's great.
Brings a lot of clarity to what's happening for you at home. Scholes again running around with Mayfield, who squats down.
Loves to control those wrists and run that claw ride. Easy for me to say. And stays deep in the crotch and looking for a new start. Keeps that leg in to keep that clock rolling, that riding time. Reach back's not really what you want to do, but he knows where he's at. They're going to get a new start.
Mayfield had a near pin against Purdue. I was mentioned the technical fall. And Scholes wanted one against Ethan Burden, but lost in a decision 9-6 against the Buckeyes.
Yeah, an opponent that he was familiar with. Nice lift and bust there. Nice little scramble by Mayfield. He's got his leg in there. Nice job by Scholes with that deep leg. Watch him. They're out of bounds again. We're 45 seconds through this second period. Scholes maintaining on top.
Couple of counts there from our official, but there's no points on the board here in not the midway point.
Yeah, he was what he's telling Braden Scholes is there he needs to climb up, get forward pressure, can't stay back, hang on the ankles or legs, and there's that deep claw ride. Said it better that time.
Deep claw ride.
Yeah, exactly.
And an escape. Mayfield's on the board with one.
Yeah, in 5 seconds before that minute of riding time. So Scholes have some work to do. Just under a minute to go, and Mayfield leads 1-0.
Again towards the head.
Scholes
tried for it.
Went for that far ankle shot, and there's a reattack, and this is where wrestling has changed so much in the last 4 or 5 years. It's not that initial attack, it's the reattack or counterattack by their opponent. Both very physical there, trying to tire out the head, hand fight. Nice little underhooks here by Mayfield. 15 seconds to go, Scott. Walk us through these last 15 seconds.
Well, the match has shifted to shoulder high. And it's pressure on pressure up top.
A lot of pushing. They're looking at the clock, too. So we're going to go into the third period, and Scholes is going to take down. He's going to have to get away from Mayfield because Mayfield in the lead, and that riding time is going to tick down against Scholes. How soon can he get out? Can he get out? I've been so impressed with the top work by the Wildcats so far.
Illinois won 3 of the matches out of 5. This is almost a must-win for the Wildcats with how things lay out from here.
Yeah, with 174 and 184, Wildcats are, a little bit undermanned at those weights. This is a match they need, and then they're looking at that 97-pound match and hopefully have a chance rolling into the last one. Scholes up to his feet. He cuts him. It's 1-1 with riding time not a factor and 1:30 left.
How about this to open up the second half of the meet?
And I know there's a real difference in the rankings here, 10, 16, but this is exactly how I thought this match would go. 2 bangers, on their feet, banging their hands, clubbing. Very physical, both on top. So it'll be interesting to see who opens up a little bit. And there's a reattack. He's going to try to push him out of bounds. He already got one stalling, and there's another point. That could be a hometown call there. It might pull out a work in the officials, and he got it.
So the early, as you mentioned, the earlier stall warning paid off.
Yeah.
In Illinois' favor, so to speak.
Yes, and Matt Storniola and BJ Furchell, and now I see Joe Rao over there, a Greco-Olympic guy. Nice little goal behind, looking to go behind that elbow, can't finish. Mayfield with double unders here on Scholes.
Mayfield may have to get more aggressive.
That stall call was huge there, and Scholes loves to work the edge of the mat with his physicality. Pushing.
He looks the bigger guy. Scholes looks the quicker. And, of course, Mayfield has that knee. Under 30 to go.
Fingers.
1-point lead, Illinois.
And as you said, Scott, I mean, Mayfield really has to open up here. And Scholes has not been warned for stalling, so he can back away, he can do what he needs to do. He doesn't have to get real aggressive here, just push, push, push. And it looks like Scholes is going to hang on, and that's not going to make Northwestern bench very happy that it came down to that stall call. But Braden Scholes gets back in the winning track, pulls out the 2-1 victory.
It's always something with these two. Scholes ekes it out over Max Mayfield. He has 10 victories this year.
Braden Scholes gets back on the winning track after that meet against Ohio State, pushes the pace and does what he needs to do to pull out that 2-1 victory and opens up a 16-7 lead. And now we're rolling into, here comes the replay. A lot of pushing and shoving here, and we thought that earlier stall call, and he's got those double unders and he pushes him out. He got the point. Not so sure I agree on that one as Mayfield was looking for a headlock. But we're rolling right into this match with two guys, Aiden Vandenbush, 4-8, and Danny Bronigal, the veteran, who's been struggling as late, and he's looking to get back on track against the rival Wildcat.
Took a loss against the Buckeyes. Bronigal did, number 21 in the country, one of the two Bronigal twins. Aiden Vandenbush is at 4-8. He suffered a fairly quick technical fall in 3 minutes and 35 seconds of match time against Brody Bauman at Purdue.
Yeah, and he went 2-2 at the Midlands. And why I keep mentioning the Midland tournament, that's the Northwestern hosted event, right? So want to get those guys out there in Vanderbush. But this is a match that Danny needs to get back on track. As he said, he's a veteran. He's struggling at 5-5 record-wise, but he's wrestled some of the best guys in the country. One being Keegan O'Toole, number 1 in the country. Just had a tough loss against Carson Harchella. And so Danny looking to get back on track in the hometown crowd. And Vanderbush wants to get Northwestern back in the winning column.
It's been a talking point for Mike Poeta at Illinois because he has so many veteran guys, but also I think in the wrestling community with the various redshirt options and the ramifications of COVID. You have guys that are wrestling in their 6th and 7th seasons. It's a different regimen maybe that's needed for those guys compared to what the 1st and 2nd years need. And experience is proving to them that doesn't necessarily mean an advantage in the sense of how your body feels.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and Mike was out there talking about, hey, the older guys need some more rest, the younger guys maybe need some more mat time, and it's a careful balance. But so far, you have to say that Mike Point and his staff have done a great job. 6-1 in the Big Ten, top 10 in the country. He's doing what he thinks is right and trying to roll into that Big Ten season. You know, and it's not going to get any easier for these guys after Northwestern as they roll into second-ranked Iowa next Friday night on the Big Ten Network.
Bronigal as Vandenbush at the edge. We're going to play on. All right, now we'll go back in.
Yeah, and Danny Bronigal likes to push the pace, very similar as Braden Scholes has. And can he continue to push it against Vanderbush? And this is a match, like I said. Can Danny get back on track and get back some of that confidence that he's lost in those 5 losses?
Northwestern is now entering territory of not just needing some decisions. They need some bonus points to come back in this one, and they're going to have to do it against the veterans of Illinois if they're going to do that. And there you go, his 3 is on the board for Bronigal.
And right again, gets that takedown and lets him go right off the bat. He's very confident on his feet. Must have scouted him out and says, hey, I'm going to go to work. I'm going to go to work neutral here.
Bronigal is in his 7th season. I don't know, at some point, do you just become, does a building have to get named after you or something just by default? He and his brother Zach will wrestle in the 197.
And there was another Bronigal that wrestled here, and he stepped away because he's serving his country for the Army. So he's overseas. I know JoJo was watching on Friday night. Not sure he's watching today, but JoJo Bronigal, if you're out there, thank you for your service. Get home safe. We're all rooting for you, buddy.
Absolutely. First period in the books. Vandenbush got an escape out of it, but Bronigal has a 3-1 lead.
You know, one of the interesting things to mention about Danny Bronigal, too, is that he's up in weight class. He bumped up in weight class this year from 165 to 174, and that could be a little bit of a struggle with strength in early season. He's just finding his legs and the strength part of it. But he's got to get back on track, and he's got to pull some victories going into that Big Ten tournament for seeding purposes.
3.
And speaking of the Big Ten tournament, Northwestern is the host this year of the Big Ten tournament. Maybe we get some Big Ten plus guys on the call for some of those matches. It'd be great.
See if you can grease the skids a little bit there.
Warning red, warning red.
Northwestern's got a warning there.
Yeah, and a little bit of a shrug from Matt Storniola saying, really? But the stall calls are definitely going in the favor of Illinois right now.
The stall call was the difference for Braden Scholl's victory.
Nice.
Bronicle's got
sweep.
him first. Yeah.
Foot sweep, and you don't see that often, but that's very technical. Had him in a near underhook with a foot sweep. Generally see that from the littler guys, not from a 74-pounder.
1 red, neutral.
Vandenbush gets away from it. So a 5-point advantage now.
Fingers off him.
Isaiah Martinez, sitting in the chair, the national champ. Nice shot by Vandenbush here. Get in that deep single. Danny reaching for both ankles here. And this is an interesting scenario, right? Gives up 2 takedowns. He's down 7-2. If he can get this takedown on Danny, he's right back in the match.
Now he's found himself on the underside, but can he flip him here?
Trying to come out the back door here.
Danny may end up on top. Oh, he's got his leg underneath him.
Not going anywhere. Here we go.
Stalemate position. 24 seconds ago in the second period, and Danny Bronicle in control, 7-2 over Aiden Vandenbush.
Here we go on the line. Set.
No dual meets last year for Vandenbush. Redshirt junior from Random Lake, Wisconsin.
Doing a nice job here, though. Danny ranked 21st. Vandenbush 4-8 on the season. Doing a nice job fending him off. Nice little single shot there. That's going to be a point.
Another stall warning.
2 seconds. Can he finish? Nice wizard defense by Aiden Vandenbush. Danny Bronicle pushing the pace. And Mike Poetto encouraging his 74-pounder to continue to push the pace. Danny takes a deep breath and says, okay, I think. He's looking to take maybe a quick break, but, oh, yeah, they're wanting to push the pace here.
3 cover.
Bronicle is a move or two away from getting into the major territory.
It's going to ride him out a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if they get back up here on their feet with the 6-point lead. And the fact that he's been warned for stalling and has a stalling point, it would make sense to push the pace back again on their feet. Nice little Blair ride that he has with that tight wrist ride. There he is. He's going to let him go. He wants to go to work on his feet again. One more takedown here from Danny Bronicle. As you said, Scott will get him in major territory.
3 points for a decision, 4 for a major decision, which comes if you win the match by 8 points or more. If you get to 15, it's a technical fall. And that's a 5-point victory.
Yeah, right now the difference in this meet. Oh, nice little goal behind. Re-attack by Danny
got him.
Bronicle. And there he's in major territory, but he wants another one. Mike Poeta wants more. He wants more.
Ever the competitor, and as we've been talking throughout, these two programs have an extra sense of rivalry, the proximity, the number of in-state kids.
Nice little ankle pick for a takedown.
Yeah, Bronicle's just taking it to him now.
He's telling him to let him go again. At some point, he's got to uncover that ankle there. He's looking to get back points. As long as he keeps working it, there it is. See if Danny Bronicle, 20 seconds, they're telling him to stay on him. Oh, he's going to let him go one more time. Wants one more takedown.
He's
going to have to go to
on
work.
The hands. There we go. There's the point.
15 seconds, Scott.
He has the riding time as well. So this one is going to go to Bronicle, and it looks to be major.
Nice little limp arm out for that last takedown. Nice job.
Piling it on.
Seals the victory.
Danny Bronicle moves over 500 with a 6-5 record for this campaign. And he gets back in the win column after suffering a loss to Ohio State. +4 for Illinois.
Danny Bronigal comes through a nice little win. And what was nice, here we go. Nice little replay. Which takedown are we going to get from Danny Bronigal?
How many do you want? Because
Nice.
there was a lot of them.
That foot sweep was a thing of beauty. Nice foot sweep there, and then nice little go behind. Now you see me, now you don't. Nice little takedown by Danny Bronigal. The nice thing to see about Danny Bronigal is to get back in the winning track, but also do it with confidence with many takedowns. What a great job by Bronigal opening up against Vandenbush. And then this
Well, Illinois is now up 20-7, and we'll come back with the final three on Big Ten Plus.
Edmond.
Ruth with a victory Friday night here over Ohio State's Ryder Rogotsky, and he's won 2 straight. He's in his 6th season.
Yeah, and Edmund Ruth coming off that Big Ten title, he's up a weight class as well. And he's off to a slower start than we would like for Edmund, at 7-3. But he's just so difficult to score on. But when he decides to turn up his offense, he is so hard to defend against.
And after that Big Ten title, finished 7th in the NCAAs last year.
Through it. Work to improve, both men.
Both feeling each other out here. And this has been kind of the mantra in Edmund's matches is starting slow. And Mike has talked to him so much about getting off to fast starts, opening up, trying to score, pulling the trigger. But when you have so much success with your style, it's hard to switch it up.
Last year, Ruth wrestled at the 174 and beat Joseph Martin of Northwestern last year in a major decision. And Matt Kubis, I guess thanking his head coach for the opportunity to face a reigning Big Ten champ.
Well, so far he's holding his own, and more so of Edmund being slow on the attack and doing a great job standing right in front of him. Edmund Ruth feeling his way out here. And can he continue to fight fire with fire in these big-time matches? And, he opened up a little bit against Ryder Ragazzi, and like to see Edmund get a little bit more aggressive here and put the pressure on this freshman. But, he's 2 minutes into this match, and it's 0-0. That has to be a win in his book, Scott.
Any victory by Illinois here in this match would put it out of reach for Northwestern. But if you're the freshman in this situation, you can't just settle, but at the same time, there's a takedown for Ruth, who finally went quick low.
And that's the attacking we're asking for. When Edmund attacks, he's so difficult to defend. It's just trying to get him to open up more. And I hate to keep touching on it, but when you see the explosiveness when he attacks, that's what you want to see over and over and over again. He's going to ride him out here with 14 seconds, take that 3-0 lead going into that second period. And as you said, a win here pretty much locks up the duel, so there'll be no controversy or criteria, and it will definitely be earned.
Time.
Little tilt position there by Edmund, and the period ends.
But Mike Poeta said, he said emphatically about this match, or this meet, I want to humiliate Northwestern. I want to bury them. So I don't think Mike Poeta would just tell Ruth, just go out there and get a decision.
Yeah, like you said, these matches the last few years have ended on criteria. Very controversial, back and forth. And Northwestern a little bit undermanned today without Chumley. And there's that second takedown, as we talked about. And would like to see more of a Edmund like Danny Bronigal. Let him go. Let's see what you can do. Let's keep opening up. If
there's a point where Northwestern would want to contest, it's maybe the Max Mayfield match against Braden Scholes, where he lost on a stall point. And that's always going to be a little bit subjective.
Yeah, that was a tough one there, but give Scholes credit. He was the aggressor. He was the aggressor most of the time. And then Danny Bronigal came up, followed right up with 5 or 6 takedowns, really opened up. And now Edmund Ruth, 2 takedowns through 2 periods, and just under a minute to go in the second period, leading 6-1.
Matt Kubis is from Libertyville. We've said that town now 3 times today. 2 Illini wrestlers, Kalen Riley and Danny Pacino, out of Libertyville up north.
There's that double leg takedown again, and Kubis does a nice job. Edmund needs to pull him back on the mat, and he does. Needs to be patient here, getting him in the center.
Edmund Ruth just took advantage of that. That was Matt Kubis tried to climb up him, and that did not work.
Tried to climb the ladder and got bear hugged for the 3rd takedown at 9-1. Edmund just very patient there. Very patient in that situation. We're going to end the second period 9-1, and it's going to be Edmund's choice. If I'm the one calling it, I'm telling him to go neutral here because I want to continue to see the takedowns.
However, Edmund Ruth going to look for a quick point and then a takedown.
Red cover.
Edmund right up to his feet.
He knew what he was doing there, and now he'll start to see if he can add on.
Yeah, Kubis was kept looking over to the bench, looking for an optional start, get the match back on his feet. Give the freshman credit. He hasn't backed away from Edmund Ruth in this situation at all. Edmund loves to be in these double unders here. There's that little throw by. Kind of running out of real estate here, but he brings it back in.
Savvy.
He's got that body lock. Finish it. He needs to finish it here.
Nothing yet. There it is.
Mike Poeta screaming one more takedown from Edmund.
He wants the technical fall. That would give Illinois 5 more points. But any more points for Illinois as a team with only 2 matches remaining would seal this up. And it's just over 60 seconds to an Illinois victory.
Nice double leg again by Edmund Ruth. Got a half Nelson, maybe looking for the first fall. He's got him in trouble here. That's gonna be a tough one. Nice job by the freshman. But that's gonna be 4 near fall.
And that'll be the technical fall. Illinois has just won this match and this whole event. They are back in the win column after the loss to Ohio State. And Edmund Ruth is now 8-3.
They clinched the duel, but there is still some fireworks to be had in one of the marquee matchups, Evan Bates and Zach Bronigal. Evan Bates coming off that 3rd place finish, beating a few ranked wrestlers from Rutgers and Stanford. And he's looking forward to this match against Zach Bronigal, who's had a tough match against Ohio State. And Seth Shoemate, a big upset. Zach battled a little bit of an injury, fell short 11-9. And Bates and Bronigal, the duel might be decided, Scott, but the battle here is going to continue.
The twin of Danny Bronigal, who won 2 matches ago over Aiden Vanderbush, be B on B. Evan Bates was an NCAA qualifier a year ago for Northwestern. 13-4 overall out of Chesterton, Indiana. And he shut out Ben Vandia.
A little bit of contrasting body styles here, right? Short, stocky for Bronigal, tall, lengthy for Bates. We'll see which one factors in here, but they both like to scrap, both like to brawl.
And a major decision over Vandia of Purdue in his 4th season. He beat Isaiah Pettigrew last year for Illinois' Isaiah Pettigrew, that is.
Yeah, and Bates 6-2 at the Midland tournament. Had a great tournament, and as we mentioned earlier, when we mentioned his teammate Max Mayfield, Matt Storniola and staff think that Evan Bates is wrestling better than he ever has since he's been at Northwestern, which says a lot because he's had a very, very good career. 3rd at the Midlands this year, NCAA qualifier, and here he is against Zach Bronigal, who's been battling, one of those older guys. He's deep in a shot. Let's see if that length is strength versus length here. And so far, length comes out a little bit ahead. A nice defense by Evan Bates.
No points yet. A 25-7 Illinois lead. They have clinched the duel. So wrestling for pride here on both sides.
Yeah, and wrestling for Big Ten seeding for sure. Right, this is a match, a comeback down for a seeding meeting that will take place in March up in Northwestern and Evanston. And you said Zach Bronigal last year had an Olympic red shirt, trying to make that Greco team. Back here for his 6th year against Evan Bates. 1 minute remaining in the period, and just so far, just a little bit of offense from Zach Bronigal. Nice defense by Evan Bates. A nice little throw-by attempt there by Evan Bates.
Bates goes low. The counter by Bronigal erases it.
Yeah, Bronigal loves that underhook throw-by to a little, trying to catch that single as he passes by. Tried it a couple, had it once or twice against Shoemate, and just right before the buzzer, just missed out on it. 11-9, nice snap down. 20 seconds to go here in this first period in this 197 battle between ranked wrestlers. Bronigal, Bates.
Yep. Here's Bronigal for a takedown. Bates.
It's got to come to his waist here, Scott. It's got to come up. That right arm has to come to his waist if he wants a chance, and there it is.
The call, partner, 3 points for Zach Bronigal.
You always tell these guys, when you're wrestling in a match, score first, score last. And that's exactly what he did. He scored first and had the last points with that takedown in under 10 seconds. So nice work from the veteran, Zach Bronigal.
Bronigal starts down, just like Ruth did in the third period of the match prior.
Yeah, let's see. Zach, let's see if the longer Evan Bates here can ride Zach out, maybe wear him out a little bit before this match gets back on their feet. Bates doing a nice job with that forward pressure. Almost out, and he lets him go. Here we go. 4-0 in favor of Zach Bronigal. Just under a minute 30 to go here in the second period. Zach Bronigal in control, 4-0. Evan Bates has a couple defensive situations, but no offense yet, no attacks. There's a little half shot, and Zach Bronigal with that snap down front headlock.
Bronigal's got 1 pin this year. He got 2 major decisions, 2 technical falls, and 5-2 overall in the duels. Evan Bates out of Chesterton, Indiana, and last year had a 13-15 season. This year it's been, so far, a lot more winning already with 13 victories. He's got some work to do here if he's going to get 14.
Nice double leg attempt, and Zach Bronigal with nice hips, get it back, see if he can re-attack. That's Bates' first attack of the match here, trailing 4-0 with 30 seconds to go in the second period. It will be Bates' choice in the third period, and I'm assuming he's going to go down, try to get that escape. And Danny Bronigal scored with 10 seconds to go in the first period. Can he open it up again in the second?
Here we go.
There.
Makes his move. Nothing yet. Now he got it. 7.
Under 10 seconds to go in both periods. And Scott, I'm pretty sure he heard what you said. Here we go. And there it was.
Red takes down. Red down. Gentlemen.
Touchdown lead for Zach Bronigal. And Mike Poeta's team has a victory already. And now it's, as you said, wrestling for seeds, wrestling for pride, and wrestling maybe to make an extra punctuation mark on this whole thing when it comes to Illinois and Northwestern.
Yeah, there's no give here by Mike Poeta and his team. And, nice attack by Evan Bates. Can he take Bronigal down? And he does. And almost on his back.
There's 3.
In 1 quick second, and Evan Bates down came right up and right back to that re-attack, and it's a 7-4 match and a 1 takedown match here. And Bates doing the right thing, even though he's going to go down by 4. He does have to let him go here and try to get on more offense. No good standing, no good riding him for a minute here. 8-4, and we have a match with just over a minute to go in the third period here.
Bronigal and Bates locking horns here on a Sunday afternoon.
Center, guys, work center.
1 minute to go in this 197-pound matchup between two ranked guys. Evan Bates of Northwestern and Zach Bronigal. Nice attack by Bates, nice defense by Bronigal, and he needs to get back. There's a nice little single attack by Danny. High crotch. Needs to swim to that right arm to the waist and not be satisfied down there.
Bates trying to wiggle out of this.
It's going to be a stalemate here. Neither wrestler. Nice call by Matt Sorchinski. Great job officiating today by both Grasso and Sorchinski. The clock is on Zach's side, and getting that nice little high crotch single, and thought he could have tried to finish it and was hung out there. Bates must have had a little bit of leverage with that length.
30 seconds. Bates needs to make a move. Can he finish it here?
Bates has been the aggressor here in the third period with that takedown, but 16 seconds to go. Nice little shrug and a little throw by, nice little re-attack by Zach. And these 97-pounders are getting after each other.
10 seconds.
Zach scored the last 10 seconds of both periods. Can he do it again? He's almost close.
Not quite there. He doesn't need it for the win, though. And Illinois has rattled off now 5 wins against the Wildcats in these matches.
Yeah, and this is the meat and potatoes for the Illini. With you get in there, you get the veterans and Danny Bronigal, Edmund Ruth, Zach Bronigal, and Luffman. Those veterans that you talked about, Scott, and the reason why Mike's schedule is real quick too. You know, little highlight here on these takedowns. 10 seconds to go in each period. A nice little takedown finish comes out the back door, clips that ankle and right to the waist, and he's going to score there. Very similar. Second takedown. And there's that second takedown. He comes right out the back door and finishes. Nice job for Zach Bronigal in that 8-4 victory.
The heavyweights are next.
How much time do we have? Minute 30.
Michigan, Minnesota. They got Indiana on the road, the Michigan State, Wisconsin, and Iowa. They got 4 of their last 6 at home. Hometown favorite is Luke Luffman for Illinois and Dirk Morley for the Northwestern Wildcats. Luke Luffman from Urbana, just across Wright Street.
Luke in on a nice takedown early, nice little single finish. Looking for that cradle. Hasn't given it to him yet, but there it is.
And right
Luke,
away, this is one of the first matches we've seen points this quick.
And by the biggest guys in the singlet today, the big men, the heavyweight.
Luffman stinging a little bit after losing to number 4 ranked Nick Feldman of Ohio State. That broke a 4-match winning streak for him. And the redshirt senior had a big test on Friday. That was what Mike Poeta said would be a 50-50 match, and I guess the coin flip went to the Buckeyes.
It was an interesting match. Luke had just couldn't quite pull the trigger, and he hesitated twice, and Feldman took advantage. I know that's a match that Luffman wants again. Optional start right off the bat here. He's going to get him back on his feet. Luffman going to try to go back to work and see if the big men can finish quickly like the little guys here. When I talk to Mike, he's just so confident with Luke. What I'm going to say, batting cleanup, wrestling last if the duel came down to it. His veteran leadership, senior leadership. He's just been so great, finishing off duels. He's had 4 walk-off victories in his career, Scott, that's a lot for a wrestler.
Yeah, he's just growing and growing in confidence as he puts up another takedown on on Morley for a quick 6-1 lead here in the first period of the final match.
And that was just strength. He had a nice underhook, little throw by to a far little ankle, and that was just strength on strength. Luke Luffman, 1:20 to go in this first period, 6-1 advantage. Would not be surprised if they go out of bounds and he gets another optional start for a takedown.
And meanwhile, Dirk Morley, he's just not been the closer that Northwestern would want there this year. Just 2-9, but he's a redshirt freshman competing for the first season in duels.
Yeah, and when we talk to Matt Storniolo too, I mean, he has, with the exception of, his 3 grad students, he has a young team, a really, really young team. He had a great recruiting class last year with August Hibbler, Eddie Enright. Had some guys. There's a nice little snap down go behind. He's going to try to get one more takedown, and Luke's trying to get this crowd into it. Because the last 2 matches a little quiet. There's that double.
Oh, my goodness. That's the 4th takedown here in the first period.
Luke getting that crowd back into it. That 84-pound match and that 97-pound match didn't have quite the fireworks as the big man showing off right now.
Morley fighting for his life at the moment with Luffman just in beast mode.
It's nice to see, we looked at this duel on paper, and it seemed as Illinois had a clear advantage. But for the Illini to come back after that loss against Ohio State, and we knew it was going to be tough. Mike knew it was going to be tough. However, he didn't think it was going to be so lopsided. So to get back in the winning ways and do it in a dominating fashion, I know he feels good about it, and hopefully as soon as this meet's over, we're going to have a chance to talk to Mike about it.
Luffman, a little fire there in the eyes. See if he can add points yet with now 8 seconds to go in the first period. Not going to happen. But Luke Luffman in solid control right now, and he could be thinking, if he can't get a pin, he could be thinking about a technical fall to be the finishing move on the whole thing.
Optional.
Optional start here. Luke looking for that 5th takedown.
It's most casual escape as ever.
See if he goes back to that underhook here on his left side, Worley's right side, goes back to that underhook throw by. Dominating and controlling this match. Luke Luffman, as you said, right down local kid from Urbana. Always wanted to wear orange and blue, and he's represented the Illini incredibly. Last 2 years, his season ended with injuries, so I know he's trying to stay healthy, wants to get back to that Big Ten tournament and get back to that NCAA tournament.
Warning red, running red.
There's a stalling warning, and then a takedown. Luffman blowing this open, 15-5. And Mike Poeta also said when it came to Luke Luffman, he just paused a moment. He said, rankings are motivators. And they can go both ways. Maybe sometimes as a coach, you hope a guy is underranked.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit overlooked. But sometimes, as you said, ranking, there's another takedown, and that's the 6th takedown from Luke Luffman. And now with takedowns being 3 points as of 2 years ago, those are big.
One more takedown. If Morley, it would probably take 2. Morley would need to escape.
Wouldn't be surprised if Luke will, if the period ends with no scoring, if Luke just takes neutral in the 3rd period.
We're out.
18-6, one more takedown from Luffman will do it, and he'll probably take neutral to go in the 3rd period. But we need to get there first because there's still 20 seconds in the 2nd period.
See what Luffman tries. Trying to roll him over. Yeah, Morley.
This heavyweight match last year, this was the match with the controversy, the jump of the whistle. Did he go, did he not? And
don't think it's going to come down to that one, huh?
No. If he does jump the whistle, it'll be for his 7th takedown in a tech fall.
All right. Illinois will choose down on this.
He's looking over at Isaiah Martinez and asking him to do math for him. How many more takedowns do I need? And Isaiah says 1.
Final 2 minutes here together.
And Luke Luffman, can he finish this up with a tech fall and put a stamp on the victory? As you said, this was one that Northwestern wanted Illinois to earn. And it seems though they have it. They have earned it. And Mike Poeta definitely wanted to put an exclamation point on it.
Luffman.
And there it is, the tech fall. And that will wrap things up at Huff Hall with a dominating victory for the Illini.
Give them 33-7. Illinois wins 8 of the matches. Luffman with the technical fall as the coup de grace. And Illinois now will improve to 7-1 on the season, 2-1 in the Big Ten. The Cats are 2-3 and 0-2 as we take a look at Luffman's easy work and a technical fall.
Yeah, what a great job by Luke Luffman. Right from the start, within the first 5 seconds of the match with a takedown, and the big man poured it on just like a little guy and getting aggressive. 7 takedowns in all for Luke Luffman. And we're going to do our best to get Mike Poeta here on camera. See if Mike can...
Illinois back in the win column after the loss to Ohio State on Friday night. Coach Poeta is making his way to our corner camera. He'll get adjusted and we'll be able to...
ப்ளஸ் போடுங்களேன். அங்கே ஸ்குவாட் இருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Nada.